Alrighty guys, Rooster here in Tennessee. Good morning, early morning out there to everybody. Got a customer test video. Lots of packages going out today, so if you've received a tracking number and haven't seen your package move yet, or if you have not received a tracking number, there's a good chance you will today, and a lot of packages will be going out today. 2-pill 2879C. This one is for Mr. Steven. This one has sideband built in. It's biased and has the sideband delay, normal there, and then slightly more of a delay right there when it's in sideband position. So either way, it'll work on AM and FM. You can run it on sideband on AM or FM, or you can run it just down here in the on position, either way. And then in the middle, it's going to be off. He had a special request for this amp. He asked me if this amp would work on FM. And I'm sure some of you guys have the same question. Now, I'm not a big FM person. Primarily AM and sideband, more AM than sideband for me. But for people that want to talk on FM, any of these amps that work on AM, they will work on FM. They will actually work on FM. So a lot of people will even tell you that they believe these amps are better suited for FM than AM. So that's up for debate, but they will work on FM, and we'll demonstrate that here in the video. I'll actually show you guys the output of my radio on FM. We'll show you how much current it draws. Now, I do say this, I think there's still a lot of unknown to some people out there about how FM works, how to drive amps on FM. I would just be very cautious when running some of these amps on FM and monitor how much current you're drawing and things of that nature to make sure you're not really overdriving the amp. The way that FM works, you guys will see kind of what I'm getting at. I'm not a technical expert on it, but whatever you key up at is basically what your amp and radio is going to do and draw current wise. But that being said, let's just get on with the test here. We'll test it on AM. We don't have a sideband radio hooked up, but clearly the sideband delay is working, so it will perform on sideband as it's supposed to. 14.8 is the voltage we're testing at. We'll just go ahead and give it audio 1, 2. Audio. 31 amps, maybe 32 amps right there. The Connex on AM is swinging 50 watts PEP and doing about 20 watts average with currently a 3 watt dead key. Again, we will show the output numbers on FM when we test the amp, but for right now, that's what we're going with. 1,000 watt slug, bottom scale. Average power first, and that 3 watts is giving us about 60 out. 200, so 20 average in, 200 average out. That's right where we want to be. PEP. Hello, audio 1, 2, 3, audio, and just a little bit over 400 watts on PEP, maybe about 425, 415, 425, something like that. Audio check, 1, 2, 3, audio. Okay, so cool. Let's turn that off, and all I'm gonna do for right now, pop this out, and let's put our 50 in, and we're gonna show you the output of the radio. Okay. So I'm going to turn the amp off. It's not hot at all. We didn't stay on it, so no danger there. I'm going to turn the radio to FM. We're on high power right now. And that's what we're drawing. Now I will talk into the mic, and as you can see, like I said, on FM, even though you could hear me on the other side right now, whatever we draw on the air, I should say, not the other side. You could hear me on the air right now if you were on FM, but whatever we key up is what it's going to draw. It doesn't draw more as we speak into the mic. It doesn't do less. It just does the exact same. So let's go over here to the watt meter and see. And we're actually keying about 3.5 right there. So I always say 3 watts. At 14.8 volts, it's actually closer to 3.5, and that's on high. And on low, what is that? 1.5, 1 3/4, something like that. Just a little bit less than 2 watts. And we do draw a little bit less current. So now what I want to do, Probably don't need to, let's see, we can probably put the 100 watt slug in here. I don't think we'll need the 1000 for testing this on FM. But we'll do the 100. We'll go ahead and turn the amp on. We'll start out on low power on the radio. And we'll just key it up. So remember, this is like 2 watts going in, 1 3/4 watts, right? And we're drawing 12, 13 and some change. And we're looking at the 100 watt slug, so we're looking at the bottom scale. So that's about 30 watts or so with that 1.5 watts, 1 3/4 watts going in. Now all I'm going to do is go to high. Come back over here. 18 amps. And again, being on FM, we can speak into the mic like I am right now. It's not going to change. You can see it's slightly going up. But it's not changing as I speak into the mic. It'll stabilize here in a second. Now I'll show you on the watt meter. Remember, this is like 3 watts, 3.5 watts. And 60. 65. So essentially the same thing as what the AM carrier was. But except we're on FM now. So that's what it's doing. He did want to see the output on FM, so there you go. That's the output on FM with 3.5 watts, and the output on FM with 1 3/4 watts. But that's it, guys. Fatboy 2-pill 2879C. I hope you guys enjoy. Again, FM's kind of uncharted territory for a lot of people, so all I can tell you is be cautious with the amount of drive that you put into these. That's probably how I would do it. Is run it about like that on FM. I would not, just because this amp can take 50 watts of PEP or swing, I would not do 50 watts FM. It's not the same thing. 50 watts on FM is the same as dead keying 50 watts into this thing on AM. Okay? So just because this amp will handle, let's say, 20 watts average swing going into it, that doesn't mean dead key 20 watts into it on FM. Because as you guys can see, you know, the FM power and the AM carrier are basically the same thing. Well, you wouldn't dead key this amp at 250 watts or 200 watts or whatever. You'd probably want to keep it around 100, 125. So I guess that would be my piece of advice. Run the output on FM just the same as you would the AM carrier. If you would not dead key this amp at 150 watts on AM, then don't run it at 150 watts on FM. If you would run this thing at 100 watts on AM, then you're probably safe to run this thing at 100 watts on FM. Just use your best judgment on that. Again, I'm not pretending to be an experienced FM operator or anything. It's just, you know, from what I'm seeing on the amount of current that it draws and everything else, that would be my recommendation. Okay, guys, that's it. Questions, comments, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. Rooster in Tennessee, more stuff coming up. Lots of used inventory coming up here soon. And as always, check out the website, roostercb.com. Everybody have a good day. See you, bye.